Welcome to another episode of Monday Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists. My name is Ndala-Magoro. As you all know, it's December. Here in Zanzi in the south, we say December boss. But even in December, as festive as it is, as much as we say it is the season to be jolly, it is not so for a lot of people. And you will also hear that we'll be discussing the January blues as well, just as with the December blues. So today's topic is on December blues. You might be wondering, it's a festive season, everybody's gallivanting, going up and down in a jovial mood. And, it's all about Christmas, the presents, and everything that goes around with it. Family gatherings, food, drinks, celebrations till the morning. But it's not always so. It has actually been shown in a number of studies, although there's no empirical data to show what is the resurgence or the rise in your suicide rates. But in this, we have observed that there can exist loneliness, anxiety, depression, and also a lot of stress around this time. About 2 years ago, I did a Facebook Friday with Sadek where I was actually responding to some of these questions around the topic of December blues. And a lot of people were reporting that some of them, because you might be wondering why loneliness at such a time where people are supposed to be surrounded by family and friends and loved ones. Why loneliness is that other people have lost loved ones around this time and they find themselves re-grieving or, this time being one of the triggers of their griefs because they lost a loved one around this time. As you might refer to an episode that I did in September on SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, this can be related to that, where then a person starts to feel those emotions all over again, even in this time where they are supposed to be quite festive. A time of high stress. We know that, especially in the province that I live in the Gauteng province, not all of us come from this province. Actually, I think more than not come from provinces that are outside this province. So the stress is brought about by just this thought of going home. I think in other contexts, they call them Magudoga, they call them Makarapa. There's all different kinds of names just to say that it's migrant labor, to put it in simple terms, that people come from different provinces or even different countries. They come to the Gauteng province or even to South Africa, but then at this time they're supposed to be going home. And there's a lot of stress around. We don't have enough to be providing for our families. We don't carry with us a lot of gifts and a lot of presents to give to them to show what we were working for. Or even somebody who is overseas right now, who might be expected to be coming back home to South Africa as a migrant laborer, to think, around this time I have not been able to save enough to give to my family what is expected from me in this festive. And I think this is also compounded by the fact that we have all globally experienced the coronavirus, the COVID-19, which has put a lot of world economies at a downfall in most cases, and to compound this with job losses, retrenchments, as we have discussed earlier on in other episodes that we have dealt with this topic specifically on job losses. So there's a lot of stress. So I've actually had one story, and I did not know how true it was until a number of people confirmed it again and again. We were on a research project about 2 years ago, and we wanted to rent out a car, and it was around October. And the people at the car rental company told us that the cars are all taken, and we were left, I think, we had to really take what is left at that time, which was not really the option that we wanted. But the explanation that this car rental dealer told us was that because a lot of that weekend was a long weekend, where a lot of people who come from out of province, who work in the Gauteng province, then they rent cars in the pretense to show the people from home that they are better off. So they rent cars that they don't drive when they're around here, just so that they can have this, paint this picture that they are making it big in the city of gold, as the nickname of Gauteng is often called. So there's a lot of stress around that, around not being able to provide, not being able to come up with or bring those much needed gifts of the festivities. And then the anxiety will be around, I think it's also very much related with the stress. The anxiety will be around now when we come back from the holidays. Do we have enough for the January for the school fees to be able to afford our lives? Some people are moving from one apartment to another, which we know you need a deposit to rent a new apartment. So there's a lot of anxiety around, am I going to still be able to make it financially well into the next year? And then the last one that I also want to touch on, as we know, the end year examination for our exit to the high school, which is the matric exams, they are also completed, and maybe some of you are expecting results anytime soon. So that can also bring about a lot of stress around this time, where then the festive season becomes a blue one, or the December becomes a blue one as a result of the poor academic results that you get from your matric results, or even from your university. And as we know, again, as I referred, this was a COVID year. It was a very unique year where a lot of people were impacted, especially academically. So what I want to leave you with in this December blues, I just don't want to say, it's the December blues, December blues, December blues, but I want to say this is how you can really identify how you're feeling and understand yourself, why you're feeling this way. Because you might feel like you are an outlier, everybody out there is happy, everybody else is in a jovial mood, everybody else is celebrating, but yourself maybe in your corner being lonely, being anxious, being depressed, being stressed because of what I have already just mentioned. But what you can actually do, which is small steps, is firstly by creating boundaries and also communicating to your loved ones that this year has not gone as well as they might have expected it to be. That is one of the things. Communicating candidly without obviously having to, share all your detailed expenses or your detailed budget, but just explaining to them that things have not worked out as they think it has always worked out. And this also goes to beyond the year of COVID. I think even before, as I said, I was making these comments 2 years ago on a Facebook Friday, the SADC's Facebook Friday, and people were asking still these questions because some of them, they had not made it, but then there were this huge expectations and this huge weight on their shoulders. So it's firstly by creating boundaries. The second one, it's also, there is nothing wrong with you not going to places which are going to be demanding of your energy, of your money, and being pressured to spend the money that you have. It's okay to be indoors. It's okay to celebrate by yourself. It's okay also to start your own tradition of celebrating this festive season in the way that you understand your own situation, your own condition, and where you are. Something that I love and that is very wonderful, and I remember I did that a number of years ago. We did not go anywhere for holidays. We decided to stay around. And what we did, we went to different orphanages because we understood that at those homes, at those shelters, and at those orphanages, there are kids who are not enjoying festives as we do. So we went and spent time with them. And in that way, by giving to somebody else who is less privileged, by spending time without even bringing anything, it is so appreciated. It goes a long way. And as I said, it also impacts on us, as I have discussed in the video where I did resilience, and you can refer to that. The link is just up here for you to go back into that video on resilience. So these are a number of little ways in which you can bolster your own affect in terms of how you are feeling with this December blues, and also as I said, with how you are going to then create boundaries and also do things differently to how you have done them before. With this Monday with Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists, as we're discussing December blues, I'm hoping that with this information, your December can be a little bit better than the blue one that you were thinking you would be spending for the rest of December. With that, see you next year and have a fantastic time during this December holidays.